welcome back guys to once again another Project Cars 2 video, and today we are back with another AOR social, but today we're changing it up just a bit. We're moving from the GT3 cars over to some touring cars. Now these cars, there's only 3 of them unfortunately on this game: the Renault Clio, the Mercedes AMG A45 and the BMW 320 TC. But today we're here at the Red Bull Ring, a track that I'm quite a fan of on this game so far. I've really been enjoying this circuit. But yep, I'm going to move straight on into the race highlights. In terms of qualifying, I think it's safe to say it just didn't go well. Unfortunately, I never really got a good lap in that wasn't really worth showing for the start. So I'm starting down in P6 here, which probably, isn't the ideal place to be kicking off a race. But hopefully, we can still get off to a nice, clean start. These touring cars, they have a huge amount of lift-off to oversteer. It's quite a pain, I'm not going to lie. You just turn into a corner in the back end, absolutely flies out from underneath you. But here we are then on the grid here at the Red Bull Ring. 15 red lights, 5 green ones, and it's lights out, and away we just front-wheel drive wheel spin there. Absolutely no grip on the start. You can see the BMW just absolutely flies from behind me there. Oh, I think that was VSR, bird is the word. So down in towards turn 1, where they're going to try and look up the inside of Franglish there. Clip a nice apex on the entrance, make sure we give him the room on the exit there, and now just trying to find him. He's still alongside me here, so we're still fighting over P6 out of turn 1, but Franglish gets a bit of a better run there, moves up into P6 of the race. So we are now down into last place here, something that I haven't really spent much time in Project Cars 2 so far, but we're going to try and have a look up the inside into turn 2, so we're still alongside there, and now we do get comfortably ahead of Franglish there. So back now up into P6 of the race, but this one 32 laps around the Red Bull Ring. It was going to take about an hour roughly in terms of race length, probably only about a 75-80 mile race actually in comparison to the 100 mile endurances that we have done so far there. But a bit of contact between the BMW and the Renault in front of me there completely put me off, so Franglish able to go back down the inside of me down at turn 3 there. But yeah, a little bit of contact in the early stages of this race. Unfortunately, not such a full grid here tonight. Unfortunately, where it's not GT3s, a lot less people are inclined to race, but I would highly recommend having a go in these cars. They are very good fun on this game. Coming towards the end of lap 1 then through in the final sector now, we've got the Mercedes still ahead of me here of Franglish. I'd opted to go with the Mercedes as well. I'd done some practice in the BMW, and it's quite odd for being the only rear-wheel drive car. It seems to have even more lift-off oversteer than the Mercedes and the Renault, but sometimes you can see me absolutely fighting with the car as we come towards the end of lap 1 here. So much counter steer as you've just got to try and get the back end somewhat in line, which is a lot easier said than done. The rear tyres on obviously the front wheel drives just don't heat up whatsoever. You never ever will get any heat into them. But down braking in towards turn 1 here, and Franglish gets caught out a little bit by Bert there as he goes into turn 1, just gets caught out ever so slightly. Different braking points between the front and the rear wheel drive cars, but it's looking quite tight at the moment, except for Burnout, EVR Burnout. You'll have seen him in quite a lot of the highlights. He'd actually ran quite a bit of practice for this race, I think, unlike anyone else, so he was going to absolutely pull away in the early stage. You can see on the minimap there, he was already got about a 4-5 second lead after just 1 lap, which was pretty damn crazy. Like, credit to him, he is so fast on this game. But moving on, halfway around lap 2 now at the top of the hill, and we're still, fighting. P2 would obviously be very ideal in the early stages. Franglish are going to have a look down the inside of Bird. Bird runs massively deep into the corner there. A tiny bit of lag from him on the outside there. And now Franglish is going to now try and move up into P5. I'm going to try and follow him through on the outside of Bird in towards the next corner here. Nudge the wheel on the grass through the corner there, but the BMW just completely pushes me off to the side there. Not really too sure if he just didn't know I was there or thought I backed out there. But yeah, I got touring card into this end of the second sector there. I'm having the track position, so you can sort of just move out of the way there, but we're not giving up on that just yet. He's going to try and play argy-bargy. I'm just going to try and have a look down towards the outside, in towards the final couple of corners here. Braking nice and late there. Obviously, you can maintain a little bit of better momentum as we don't have to take such a wide line there. Franglish in front of me there completely bins it off the track through the final corner there, just unable to save the front wheel drive there. And we're still side by side with Bird here, so we've held it around the outside of the final 2 corners. We're going to have the outside for turn 1 as well here, so it's going to be quite a miracle if we can get this done. But trying to brake as late as we possibly can in towards the first corner there, using a little bit of the Astro on the outside there, and we've actually been able to make that position stick there. So right around the outside of the second to last, the last, and the first corner there. So quite happy with that move. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it was one of those moves that I didn't really expect to pull off, but you know, it worked. So I'm certainly not complaining. And now, you know, we're going to try and focus on the cars ahead, try and close up to my teammate EVR Taylor and Kieran, as well as VSR Touring here as we come now down in towards the final couple of corners. He was also in the BMW here, but a lot of guys were having a little bit of troubles with track limits here. Taylor being one to fall victim through the final corner. We think to go to the outside, we then move to the inside down in towards turn 1 here. And are we going to be able to make the move stick? We're going to try and have a look up the inside there. He's going to try and use a bit of the AstroTurf. Touring runs completely wide through turn 1. There was a little bit of inconsistency there with the way, you know, track limits at turn 1. But fortunately for me, they both get caught out by the game there. They both were forced to slow down. So, you know, that's 2 positions just about made for me. Touring tries to cut me off as we go up the hill. But now up into P3 of the race here. And this is very, very ideal. Taylor, you will have just seen in the rearview mirror, dives it down the inside of Touring as well there. So we've now got an EVR 1, 2, 3, 4 in this race, which, you know, probably quite ideal. You know, we can try and defend and attack with each other at this moment of time. You know, we race together so often, you know, there's usually not too much love lost between all 4 of us, really. You know, we're not afraid to get our elbows out, even when we're racing with each other. But now skipping on to lap 7 of the race, and Kieran up ahead had accidentally completely sliced the final corner there. We'd also been able to get a slowdown warning there, not really too sure what that was all about. But now, having a look down towards turn 1 here. Lap 8 of the race, we're already a quarter of the way through. This race is, you know, been action-packed so far, I think, to say the least. But Kieran in front of me runs massively wide through turn 1 there. And now we've got a much better run. He's just going to try and squeeze me off the circuit there. We get 2 wheels all over the grass there, but we do just about able to squeeze by there. Up now into P2 of the race here. So this was looking quite good for myself. You know, we've been able to go from last up to P2. But you can already tell, you know, on the timings that Ben was absolutely flying out in at the race lead at the moment. So, you know, we were going to try and gap Kieran and Ben behind me as well. And now, you know, it was going to probably, well, it was most likely going to end up turning into a bit of a lonely race all the way up until lap 25. So skipping on 17 laps worth of racing. And Ben in front of me, Burner, had actually had to make a pit stop at this time. He underfueled his car there, a little bit of miscalculation on his half there. So he's got 6 laps now of, you know, fresher tyres, a lot less fuel than myself, and, you know, really try and push to the end here. And now it's going to be interesting to see, you know, if I could hold on from a last to a first, you know, I'd be quite happy with that. But, you know, we should wait and see how well that was going to work out for myself as we now skip on to the next couple of laps. You know, having a quick look through, and he's closing in on me so quickly. You know, fresh tyres on this car really do help you out in terms of pace. You can see now by the start of lap 29, the gap now down to about 8 seconds. He was closing in sort of 2.5 seconds a lap. So it was going to be very tight as we move on in towards the final couple of laps of this Grand Prix. On to lap 31, the gap now down to just 3.5 seconds here. So, you know, it was looking very close. You know, it was a lot easier for him to close up to me rather than actually being able to make a move past. But, you know, he's not afraid. You know, we've been racing each other a fair bit. You know, we know how each other are attempting to race in these, you know, sorts of cars, especially in the GT3 cars. But breaking down in towards the second corner there, and I've nearly flipped the car. That was certainly going to cost me A, time, and B, a huge amount of confidence there, as I preferably, you know, would want to finish this race, you know, not on my side would be quite ideal. But that's helped him close in so much more down in towards turn 3. Braking zone though, trying to brake nice and early there. The back end just breaking away though on the cold tyres. You can see we've run 30 laps on this set of tyres, and the rears are still well, ice cold. It's actually quite a joke. But now going on in towards turn 4 here, running a little bit wide into the corner there, and unfortunately I have completely bottled it there, ended up flicking the car sideways there. Ben has gone round me outside. I actually had to take evasive action from me there, but he's moved up into the race lead. I've completely bottled a last to first in this race, but coming now down in towards the final couple of corners there, doing my best, you know, Tokyo Drift impression in a front wheel drive there. But down towards the line, unfortunately there we have completely bottled the last to first there. Would have been, you know, a very undeserved last to first, I'm not gonna lie. Ben was so quick in this car, it was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, there we are then, reversing across the line in the end for P2 on the whole. You know, last 2 seconds, I can still be very happy with that. Then, you know, trying out some different cars as well, it was very enjoyable. But hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you're new around here and you want to see more content on the channel. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for a brand new video.
Yeah.